Hey Wastelanders, this is Gary and my good friend Pete, Jersey Knife Guy. He's been asking me 3 or 4 times to, maybe twice, I don't know. He's been bugging me to do a review on this Nomad. It's a Rough Ryder Folding Hunter 007 pattern. It's called the Nomad. And I recently bought it, like, I don't know, a week ago, and I probably would have never got around to reviewing this for months, but thankfully Pete reminded me to give it a review. So I want to start out. I don't know anything. Well, I know very little about traditional pocket knives because I don't collect traditional pocket knives. But I found this one and I really liked it. So open it up. At least has a half stop, and I'll give you a little bit of history. What I found interesting when I began to study this knife was the facts behind the designer himself. Because I'm not normally a traditional knife collector, I don't know a lot about anything traditional. And I was researching the 007 pattern to learn about this knife. I'm honestly stumped when it comes to traditional knives. I'm absolutely stupid. So I got totally distracted by finding info about the knife designer. And I will attach two links that I found very interesting when I was searching for the knife, and I got hooked on the designer himself. So look for those links in the description. You should check them out. So Andy Armstrong is the designer, and I didn't know this, but he is also an employee of Smoky Mountain Knife Works. So he seems to design everything from print to knives themselves. But he has a side gig. He's an award-winning photographer. So if you check out his photography, I assure you'll see a familiar model, swags, in his photography. So let's get it checking out the specs. So this knife features a D2 steel. I think it's printed on there. So it's the RRR 007, and it's in D2. It's of course made in China, and it's a drop point. This is a satin finish, and these are tan micarta scales. Some pictures show them that they look green, and some pictures they look tan. I don't know what color they are. I would say they have a hint of green, but they're primarily a tan. It has brass liners, and this is probably polished steel bolsters. It's not brass, and it's a lockback with a half stop, and I don't know what kind of pull it is. I mean, I think the pull is registered on a scale of 1 to 10, and I would classify it, I mean, just as a guess, I would classify it as a 4. It's not hard to open up. The nail nook is what you use to open it up, but honestly, I don't use the nail nick. I just use the whole knife because, like I said, it's easy to open up. But I had to look up this fuller, and because it's kind of neat. It's called Comet Tail Fuller. So it's kind of neat. It features a nickel silver triple R arrowhead on this I don't know what this is called, scales or covers. In traditional talk, I would assume would be covers. Oh, one of the features that drew me in is that it has a lanyard feature. Yeah, I'm big into lanyards, so this knife will surely get a lanyard. I haven't picked out a bead for this yet. So, as I said, the designer is Andy Armstrong, and remember to check out his some of his bio. You know, one link will be to Smoky Mountain Knife Works interview video, and then another link will be to his photography website. All right, so let's do some knife comparisons, size comparisons. So let's get it up close. And this is, I always forget this name. This is a Kershaw blah blah blah. You probably can answer this question amongst yourself. But this is how it compares to a traditional Kershaw Barlow design. And then let's break out the modern knives. This is a Benchmade Bug Out. How it compares to the size. So it's about the same size as a Benchmade Bug Out. If you're familiar with a Bug Out, you'll be familiar with the size of this knife. And last but not least, we'll compare it to Spyderco Tenacious. It's about the same size as that too. I don't have any. Oh, you know what? I'll compare it to Baby Banter, just for the hell of it. So pivot to pivot, you see how it compares to a much smaller knife. It's a four-finger. Let me adjust that camera. It's a four-finger grip knife, easily for me. I wouldn't classify this as a huge knife, but it's definitely bigger than most traditional knives I'm familiar with seeing. So that's probably why I liked it. I'm a big fan of traditional knives with one blade, and I don't necessarily get set on a lockback, because I love this knife too. But yeah, let's go over some size and weight of this knife. So I took all these measurements myself. It's 4.2 4 1/4 handle, 4.25 inches, and the blade is 3.125 inches. Their overall is 7 3/8, 7 3.75 inches, and the handle thickness is, surprisingly, it's a half of an inch. I thought it would be thinner because it felt thinner, but it's a half an inch. The blade thickness is 0.097, and the edge thickness is 0.028. And surprisingly enough, this feels very light, but it weighs in at 3.67 ounces. I'm sure the brass is responsible for making it heavy, but it doesn't feel heavy. Yeah, I don't have a lot to say further about this knife other than I really like it. As I said before at the beginning, I don't collect traditional knives for the most part, but this one called out to me, and after discovering it months ago, literally months ago, I discovered it on Smoky Mountain Knife Works, of all places. So I added it to my wish list at the time, and then I just promptly forgot about it. Honestly, I was eager lately to fill fill a hole in my heart. I've been dealing with a lot of depression, and so when I'm feeling down, I turn to like knives or guns to fill this. Knives are my current passion, and I turn to knives to fill this hole in my heart. This knife reminded me of the good times when I was young, when I was a kid. And, I don't know. Any question, I'm getting off track. All right. Any questions about this knife? You guys can feel free to reach out to me by email and Instagram, or comment in this video. I love questions, and I rely on you guys to fill in some of the blanks I don't know, especially for traditional knives. Oh, by the way, I ordered a slipcase for this knife. My first slipcase ever, because I've never carried a traditional knife in a slipcase. I didn't even know about slipcases until I got back in this hobby in 2020. That's how dumb I am. So I plan to carry it. And I have one question for you guys, you traditional collectors. Do I store the knife in the slipcase, or should I strictly use it for the case for carrying the knife, not carrying and storage? I don't know if leather would ruin the finish on this knife, because I ordered a leather slipcase, and it should be custom fit to it, because the maker of the slipcase wanted the exact measurements of the knife, and so I had to send it to him or her. So yeah, I'm sorry for if this was a not very knowledgeable review, because as I said, I don't know about traditional knives. I just know what I like, and yeah. So take care, Wastelanders. Is that good enough, Pete? Bye bye.